Joe says his goal as an artist is to give the client, whether public or private, a piece of artwork they feel a connection to because it reflects their own visions, dreams, and deep desires. His work is a masterful blend of shape and material designed for the environment that it's placed in. Because of his unique understanding of nature and plant life, his sculptures always contain the force of life in a conversation with their surroundings. So tonight, we welcome Joe. Come on up, Joe.
So you see, this is downtown Chandler. This is the, I don't know if you folks are long-time Arizona residents, if you know the 5 C's of Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the 5 C's of Arizona.
Oh.
Which are what?
Want me to name them?
Climate, citrus.
Cattle, copper, climate, cotton, citrus. Did I name 5? Oh, anyway. We couldn't get out of 8th grade until we could name it. This is just a feature piece of a sculpture I did down in Oro Valley. I did about 15 different individual sculptures for this assisted living place. I don't remember putting that in there. That's a scorpion. That's a little art place downtown Phoenix called the Alwyn House. I don't know if you ever heard of that place.
Yeah.
I did their sign for them.
Wow.
This is Good Samaritan Hospital. This is employee recognition, people that work there 20 years or longer. A little mini garden thing. That's Chandler Regional Hospital. And bigger. That's downtown Chandler. Why can't I say the name of that famous hotel? It's an old hotel. Anyway, right in the middle of downtown Chandler.
You did the entire fence?
Yeah, what did you say?
San Carlos.
San Carlos, yeah, it's in front of the San Carlos Hotel, and it wraps around the hotel, the whole front of the hotel.
Man, how long it take?
That's one of those jobs that just didn't seem to end. Glendale War Memorial.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Veterans Memorial.
ASU Arboretum Gates.
Where is that?
Was that done after you were there or
No, it's after I left.
after you left?
Yeah, they asked me to come back and do that. I guess I sort of had my foot in the door, so. That's the first public art project I ever did, Tempe High School for the city of Tempe.
Wow.
There's another Tempe transit shelter. I made that for myself to hang in my studio. So that's my
Looks pretty fishy to me.
that's my fish.
The one that didn't get away.
Is there significance of the fish for you?
I actually was experimenting around with the scales. I had to make something else that needed scales, and I thought, well, I'll make this fish and see how these scales work out.
Did they?
So yeah, they worked out. I did more transit shelters. I did a tribute to old radios called Tuned Into Public Transportation. So there's, I did 4 different radios. I don't know if I have them all in there, but that's my favorite one. They all light up like the old tube radios
Oh, cool. That's great.
at night, so they got that little glow thing going.
Any music in there?
Where is it at? Where's that?
This is over on 75th and McDowell at the Park and Ride. There's another radio.
Nice, yeah.
I like radios. This is a fun dinosaur park. We did in Las Vegas, and I did these big, why can't I say pterodactyl? I just said it. Rose Garden, Rose Garden. I just brought, one second, I brought this to just show you how we do these models, little mock-ups, to give the client an idea of what they're going to get. So I did 2 of these entry features into the Rose Garden for the Mesa Community College, and they just called and ordered a 3rd sign, so that's what I'm working on now. Phoenix bird, a Phoenix native, and I always liked the Phoenix bird. I ended up doing it. A big one in on 13th Avenue in Van Buren. About 7 feet tall and about 4 feet wide, maybe 5 feet wide. I did 2 of them. I did one. I told the city I could do it, and I thought, how am I going to do it? So I made one first for me that I kept just to make sure I knew how to do it. It's a little bit smaller, and then I made the big one for the city. So I have one.
So anything that's a maquette is really
Well, this
a
one.
metal sculpture.
This one wasn't a 1-inch scale. This was a big
Yeah.
Phoenix bird.
And do you work on that by yourself? or-
No, I have my son. He works with me. He's worked for me since he's been since another radio. Up here. Here's another rattlesnake seat wall that's in that same park with the bat. And those
Look at
rattlers,
the rattlers in the
rattlers,
background.
they rattle. And you can grab those rattles and spin them, and they're full of marbles. So I just did that for kids.
And we have a small version of this.
Yeah, that's the maquette.
Gallery.
That's the maquette for this piece, which is at the Oro Valley Library.
Can you give us a sense of how long does it take you to do something like this?
That piece, for example, right there probably took about, with the help of another guy, about 3 months to fabricate all the pieces.
Wow.
And then about a week to install it. And that's, that's just straight sometimes 6-7 days a week, just staying with it, focus like a laser on it to get it done. And that's why I'm tired. And this is Waiting for a Date, and this is a tribute to the date industry in Arizona. No, not many people know this, and it's an obscure little thing, but the first place edible dates were introduced to the United States was in Tempe, Arizona in the 1880s. Wow. And they were brought to the U of A Extension Farm, which was in Tempe at the time. And so they brought them from the Middle East to see how they do. So this is a tribute to that, and it's called Waiting for a Date.
Now, how many pieces would something like that come to the site? Does it come all in one piece, or?
No, it comes in, it's like, for example, this war memorial, it's just like a gargantuan jigsaw puzzle. Now the main trunks, for example, like this, the main trunks are built, but then you've got all the limbs and the V's and the leaves, and you just lay it all out and say, try to be the great Karnak and remember what you did. And put it all back together.
How long did that take, Joe?
The war memorial?
Yeah.
That took a long time. That was a real labor of love. That took, I say I was on that project 6 months,
Yeah.
start to finish.
It's beautiful though.
Well, I'm glad you like, I love that
We were there at the
project.
dedication, Elaine Struggs and City honored
Yeah.
you.
That was probably one of my favorite projects I ever did, if not my most favorite.
It's beautiful. Where is it?
Right
It's-
up by the
Right
light.
here?
59th in Peoria, just south of Peoria in front of the Glendale Library.
Yeah.
There's another Scottsdale windswept transit shelter. I've done lots of transit shelter. There's those gates again. Does that mean we're done? We did it, we did it, we did it.
I think we did.
Thank you.
Joe, what's your earliest recollection of exposure to art?
My mother was an artist, so I just grew up. She was a painter and a ceramicist, and so I just grew up around art, and my dad was artistic. And he was a welder, not by trade, as for a hobby. So he made like all the furniture in the house, and things like that.
Did your dad teach you how to weld?
No, my father died when I was 12. I was too young to learn. And he was killed in an accident, industrial accident, right around the corner here over at the Olive Free Steam Plant. He was the superintendent there. But anyway, so it's just, you know, when you're a kid, you're like a sponge. It's like music. My dad was a big lover of music. He'd bring home an album every week and, you know, be on the stereo. And you don't even realize, but it just, it's getting it just imbibes in your head.
Yeah.
So art, because of my mother and my father, it just seemed normal.
Yeah.
So, and it worked out, you know, the music and the art. My brother's an actor and a playwright, and it's all our family. My sister, everybody just went into the arts, but not because that just was the natural way at all. So I guess there's some sort of genetic thing. I don't know.
Tell us a little how that came about, your very first.
Well, it's not really no different than it's how the process still works today. They put the city, that had to be the city of Tempe, puts out a call to artists, and it just goes out all over the valley, and who knows how many put in, 50, 100 artists, I have no idea how many put in. Then they narrow it down to finalists, and if you're a finalist, they usually pick 4 or 5 finalists, and then you bring in your idea. It's all based on the city's budget for that particular site. And so you bring in your idea and show them what you can create for the city within that budget. And then they have a committee, like a jury, and they pick one of the 4 or 5. So artists get told no all the time. I mean, getting told no, if you can't take being told no, don't even get into it. But, so you just, for me, you just go on to the next one and on to the next one and on to the next one, and pretty soon you get told yes. And then maybe yes again. And then maybe if they really like it, sometimes they'll just call you back and not have a called artist.
What artists do you admire?
I really like, that does my kind of work here locally is Kevin Berry, who's got this piece out here in Peoria Park on Grand there. I like his work a lot. But I have a real appreciation for all kinds of art, whether it's, you know, ceramic, wood carving, all this other items in here, and then artists so very, like I said, like my brother's an actor, I have a real appreciation for music, so, you know.
If you could talk to any great artist of the past, who might that be, and what would you ask him or her?
I'd probably talk to Rodin, except for I can't speak French.
Well, let's say you had a translator. What would you ask him?
I'd say, I don't know what I'd ask him, but I'd tell him I'm sure impressed with his work. And I'd probably ask if I could come over to his studio and watch him work.
What's your favorite word?
Actually, I would have to say my favorite word is grace. Being gracious, being kind, trying to truly practice grace, and being human beings. It's not always easy, but that's my favorite word.
What's your least favorite word?
Narcissism. Arrogance, I can't stand arrogance. Pure and simple, it's just a major turn off for me.
Does a computer play any part in your work?
Only when you ask me to bring a thumb drive. Because I am low tech.
Anyone else?
Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.